Okay guys, how many of you are fans of the house of Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier? Do you know this house? I've spoken a lot about them. I have videos on the channel of fragrances from this house. And today we're doing a top 10 list with one honorable mention. We're doing a giveaway as well, thanks to the folks behind the brand. For one lucky subscriber of this channel from the entire world, one of the fragrances I discussed today, you get to pick. If you are the winner, you will get to pick whichever fragrance out of the 11 fragrances I'm going to talk to you about today. So, if you're curious to learn about this house, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today we're talking about Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier, Master Perfumer and Glove Maker. Why this name? Well, there was a trend at one time to scent gloves. So they named the house Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier. And Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier was started by Jean Laporte, who had originally founded a house called L'Artisan Parfumer. So I guess when he might have sold L'Artisan Parfumer, and then he started Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier. So they've been around since 1988. They've been making fragrances since 1988, and I've got 10 here in the top 10 list, plus one honorable mention. Again, we do have a giveaway as well, so stick around to find out more about the giveaway and of course the fragrances. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. And also, just to let you know, we are doing lots of giveaways this week. Stick around, tune in, make sure to tune in, make sure you're subscribed, make sure that I can see that you're subscribed to my channel, and of course turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on claiming your prizes. Alright, Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier, as I said, was founded in 1988, and they've been releasing fragrances since then. And I first discovered Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier in the early 2010s, around 2012, when I first bought a fragrance called Ambre Presso. One of the best ambers ever, probably definitely a top 5 amber, and I've got it here on this list, but we won't get to it for a while, obviously. It's one of my favorite ambers. I'm giving you a clue here, and it's a great amber. It's a very, very long lasting fragrance, really, really intense, and some of their fragrances are on the beast mode side, especially the ambers. I mean, there's one here that's so intense, just a tiny little drop goes a long way. Alright, let's get started. We're going to start off the list with a fragrance called Fleurs de Camours, this one right here. So this is a Ylang-Ylang fragrance, focusing on this beautiful yellow flower. So it's sort of tropical, and they combine passion fruit with this fragrance and black currant, so in the end it gets fruity and floral at the same time. But this one definitely has a very strong vanillic touch to it, so when you're smelling the flowers with the fruits, you can totally pick up some vanilla in there. So it almost goes to like an oriental floral direction. I would call this like a tropical floral, tropical, oriental tropical. I don't know if there's such a thing, but to me that's what I kind of get with this one. But it's definitely floral, it's definitely fruity, and it's definitely vanillic. So that's Fleurs de Camours. I don't know if you've tried this one. It's not one of the ones that a lot of people discuss with this house, but definitely is one honorable mention for you guys to try. And if you love Ylang-Ylang, that one's definitely one of the ones you should check out. Alright, next at number 10, it's a fragrance called Ordes Ends. This one right here, I know I'm butchering that, but that's the best I can do today for you. And this one focuses on Opoponax, a beautiful, beautiful vanillic resin that's really, really delicious in here. So it's Opoponax, amber, lavender, vanilla, sandalwood, geranium, bergamot. So to me, it smells like almost like a warm, vanillic, resinous fougere, almost like a barbershop-y style, but it doesn't, stop at the barbershop. It just hints at it a little bit. So in the end, it's resinous and sweet with that Opoponax. Lots of amber in this one, of course. It's lots of amber, but that lavender just gives me that kind of like a barbershop-y experience a little bit. So throw in some vanilla, sandalwood, geranium, and bergamot. There's geranium as well. Geranium and lavender are both star notes in fougere fragrances. That's why this one kind of reminds me a little bit of like a barbershop-y fragrance, a little warm barbershop-y fragrance. So anyway, check this one out at number 10, Ordes Ends. I think Or is gold. Ends, maybe the Indies. I don't know, something like that. But that is Ordes Ends. The next fragrance we're going to is not a difficult name. It's called Secrete Datura, and that's this one right here. And boy, it is a great fragrance featuring Datura flower. It's definitely a white flower, but it features heliotrope as well to give it a little bit of a powdery touch, a slight almondy touch to it as well. But this one also has chocolate, honeysuckle, and vanilla, so it's almost like an oriental floral or a gourmand floral, but it's really, really delicious. And I like the idea of combining this white flower of Datura and the powdery flower of heliotrope with chocolate and vanilla. Very, very delicious fragrance. It might lean a little feminine, but check it out. Get a sample to test it out, or go to their store in Paris to see if you're near there to smell this one, because I really do like this one. Of course, I like the other ones better, but this one is definitely, if you like the idea of flowers with gourmandy notes, then definitely check it out. So that is Secrete Datura. Next up, going to a fragrance called Fraiche Passiflore, and that's this one right here. And this one, another underrated one from this house, and this one's ultra fruity and also very, very fresh and refreshing, but lots of fruits. It's passion fruit, it's peaches, it's raspberries, and lots of musk in there. Really, really beautiful. And they also have thrown in passion flower in addition to the passion fruit. So in the end, it's floral, it's fruity, and it's musky. Very, 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 very beautiful. It's just ultra fresh. If you like the idea of fruits all over you, oh my God, amazing. Check it out. It's Fraiche Passiflore. Really, really beautifully fruity, but also very, very fresh, and it doesn't weigh you down. It just wears really, really clean and musky, fruity. Next, going to a fragrance that's very, very masculine. It's Route de Vetiver. So Route de Vetiver means the route or the road to vetiver, but to me this is almost like they're referring to the roots of the vetiver. That's what I'm getting from this. It's a very, very ultra rooty vetiver. Really, really dark, earthy, rooty, and damp vetiver. It is intense, like very, very intense experience. It's just like a very, very pungent and very, very, as I said, grassy, earthy, rooty, damp, and kind of almost just reaching way down there, really, really, really deep down there, and getting that whatever smell is in there. Ultra earthy, and it's very, very long lasting. If you like vetiver and you've been stuck on things like Guerlain vetiver, just things like that, and you want to upgrade to the more earthy kind, like the intense earthy kind, just focusing on that vetiver in all its glorious facets of smells, this is it right here. It is intense. A little goes a long way with this one as well, and it is ultra vetiver. Like, it's the root of the vetiver, even though it's called Route du Vetiver, meaning the road to vetiver. But lots of vetiver here. Woods, black currant comes in. It's not ultra fruity. It's very, very light. Green touches sandalwood and musk. A great scent. Route de Vetiver. Check it out and let me know if you've tried it or if you're a fan of that one, because it is the ultimate vetiver, like nothing but the vetiver, Next, we're going to a fragrance focusing on iris, and this is called Iris Blue Gris. So iris, blue, gris meaning gray. So this is all about iris, but it's a very spicy iris, and it's not your typical powdery iris. It's very, very masculine leaning. So lots of iris with Oakmoss. I think the Oakmoss adds this layer of a masculine touch. But here we also have vetiver thrown in, so it's got this earthiness as well. Green notes, musk, bergamot, some light lemon, little light floral touches of jasmine and vanilla. But when I wear this one, I get black pepper, lots of spice, like peppery spice. I just feel like there's like black pepper note in here or something, creating an accord of spiciness. Maybe it's the Oakmoss with vetiver, and whatever it is, there's a very, very spicy touch to it, especially when I'm wearing it. Not out of the bottle. For me, out of the bottle has a very irisy, almost like the iris concrete, the orris butter kind of a smell out of there. So in the end, it doesn't wear really powdery, and iris tends to go powdery. So this is a different kind of iris for me, but a great, great iris. Very, very spicy iris, and very, very masculine iris for an iris fragrance. So if you don't know this one, it's Iris Blue Gris. Great fragrance. Check it out. Probably an underrated one from this house. But you know what? This is a great house. If you don't know them, you definitely need to check them out. If you're into perfumery and fragrances and, you know, perfumes that are slightly classical leaning and definitely more classical leaning, this is a house that you should check out. As I said, they've been around since 1988, and some of these fragrances are definitely more classic leaning. So the next fragrance is probably one of their more recent fragrances. It's Patchouli 1969, which I also featured over the weekend in my Patchouli fragrances video. And this had to be here at this number, and the rest of the fragrances are going to get really, really great. But this one, man, the patchouli is so great. It's a very, very cardamom-y patchouli with lots of LME resin as well. So there's a resinous touch, there's a spicy touch, and of course the green patchouli touch. Throw in some sandalwood, musk, bitter orange. There's a bit of a citrus touch in here as well, some bitter petitgrain note in there as well, and you have one winner of a fragrance. But I feel like there's something musky in there, just a slight bit when I'm wearing it. So there is a little bit of a slight musky animalic touch running throughout it. But in the end, it's a really, really great fragrance. Really wonderful, spicy patchouli. This one doesn't go into the chocolate cakey direction as a patchouli, but almost goes there. You know, I was mentioning that over the weekend in my patchouli video. Anyway, this is Patchouli 1969. If you don't know it, check it out. It's from, of course, the house of Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier. For me, it was a little bit of a toss-up to decide whether I should put Patchouli 1969 here or put this fragrance here. And now we're getting to some fragrances that I've actually reviewed on the channel. In fact, I have reviewed Patchouli 1969 as well. I have a review with a guest, Dahlia. If you want to catch that, go catch that. But I have a review of this particular fragrance as well. It's called Santal Noble. And Santal Noble is a great sandalwood, but as I said, it was going to be a toss-up between the two. In the end, I put Santal Noble here at this spot at number 4. Santal Noble to me is an updated version of their sandalwood fragrance, which came out in 2017. Of course, it features sandalwood, but they've thrown in some castoreum. So this one dries down to a little bit of a musky touch, slightly animalic touch to me. But along with castoreum, there's coffee, ambergris, oak moss, incense, vanilla, spices, and vetiver. So if you like animalic fragrances, if you like musky fragrances, castoreum definitely appears. Ambergris definitely appears as well, and it creates a kind of a muskiness on me. It does lean a little animalic, so be warned with this one. If you're curious about it, sample first, because you'll definitely notice that I was, and I do enjoy animalic fragrances. So in the end, it's a great sandalwood, very unique, kind of sharp coffee notes. Castoreum, ambergris comes in, but beautiful, really beautiful sandalwood fragrance. This is Santal Noble at number 4 from the house of Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier. And as I said, I do have a full review of that one. Go catch that. The next fragrance we're going to talk about is another fragrance I've reviewed on the channel, and it's a focusing on leather, and this is Queer Fetiche. This leather, guys, it is so good. Reminds me of Creed's Royal English Leather. It reminds me a little bit of Queer Canage from Dior. It reminds me a little bit of Canise 10 Golden Edition. So if you like those kind of leathers, you've got to check this one out. It's a great leather. But lots of leather here. It's a buttery leather. It's a smooth, almost like a suede leather. It goes on very classy. It goes on very elegant. This one definitely has a, you know, more of a mature smell, a more classic smell. But if you're into leather, you got to check this one out. It's leather, iris, amber, some musk, geranium, jasmine, sandalwood, patchouli, ylang-ylang, vanilla, rose, and bergamot. Oh my god, it's so good. It's just really classy, very classy and elegant, like very dressed up kind of a leather fragrance, but definitely reminds me of those fragrances, as I said. But in the end, you know, I think a lot of leather fragrances at one time were very similar to it. There are some leather fragrances that go very smoky and charred smelling. This one does not. Just a beautiful, very golden color is what I see and visualize with this leather. Just a beautiful, very rich leather is what I should say. So that's Queer Fetiche at number 3. At number 2 is probably the very first fragrance I reviewed from this house. And it was, my god, one of the most intense fragrances I had put my nose on it is such a big cloud. Intense cloud. It's an amber, but it's not Ambre Presso. This is Ambre Mythique, this one right here. So number 2 is Ambre Mythique. Guess what number 1 is? But man, this is so beast mode. A tiny little goes a long way. It is overwhelming. If you like your fragrances to be overwhelming, you gotta check this one out. Like, it is intensely overwhelming. And as I said, a little goes a long way. This one features lots of labdanum, myrrh, vanilla, coriander, tonka beans, patchouli, sandalwood, geranium. Now, you'd think that this might go smoky. It doesn't really go smoky on me. It goes ultra powdery, like an intense amber powder has been dusted and, you know, floating in air, and you're caught up in it. And if it's so strong, you're going to start coughing and sneezing. That's the experience with this one. It's so intense, you just need a little bit of it, but it's overwhelming. Like all those notes that I mentioned, lots of resins, myrrh, labdanum, lots of vanilla, lots of lavender. It's very aromatic. Then, you know, you do get some smoky touches, but it's not big. It's not a really, really big smoky touch. Just a big powdery amber experience. That's why it's at number 2. I like the fragrances to be intense, but for me, I feel like this one's a little too intense. Am I saying that? Am I really saying that? So a little goes a long way. So that is Ambre Mythique at number 2. And my number 1 fragrance from this house is Ambre Presso. One of the best amber fragrances, probably a top 5 amber fragrance. And the reason why I like this one, and again, this is the one that I had bought dating back to 2012, somewhere around there, in their previous red bottles. They used to be in red bottles. And I immediately fell in love with it. It was a blind buy, but I had done a lot of research reading about perfumes and amber fragrances. And I said, I gotta get me a bottle of Ambre Presso. I just have to. It has got to be, I got to get it. So I did, and I was obsessed with it. But this one has lots of aromatic notes. So amber is a syrupy kind of a, you know, experience. Throw in some resinous myrrh, but then you throw in some lavender. So when you smell it, it's a nice contrast of lavender with this amber and resinous myrrh note. Throw in also some tolu balsam, some nutmeg, some peru balsam and vanilla. It is amazing. It is one of the best amber fragrances, and this is also long-lasting, just like Ambre Mythique, but Ambre Mythique is overwhelmingly strong, long-lasting. Just a beast mode experience. Great scent. When you smell them side by side, it might remind you of one another a little bit, but this one definitely goes in a different direction. And one other thing I should say, they do have the Ultime version of Ambre Presso. It's a little darker, a little more intense, but the original is fantastic, guys. If you like ambers, this is a fragrance you must know. It's like a historic fragrance, you know, one of the best fragrances ever created. So number 1, it's got to be Ambre Presso, an amazing, amazing fragrance. One of the best probably from this house, if not from everywhere, you know. Anyway, those are my 10 plus the 1 honorable mention favorite fragrances ranked from the house of Maitre Parfumeur Et Gantier, a house that I've been a fan of for almost 10 years. I've been following them for that long. If you ever get to make it to Paris, which hopefully we will be one day soon once we're done with the pandemic, you have to go to their store. It's near the Place Vendôme, and I've gone many times. I've been going since, you know, probably around 2014, when I was walking around the Place Vendôme, and I accidentally stumbled onto it, and it was like, whoa, I know that place, I know their fragrances, so I immediately walked in. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to the Paris, definitely go there, because it's near, like just around the corner from where the Place Vendôme is. But if you go further, all the perfume shops are there in that little neighborhood near the Rue Saint Honoré. Anyway, now to the giveaway. All right, so in order to participate in the giveaway, please make sure I can tell that you're subscribed to my channel. Please make sure you're subscribed, of course, and also let me know what you liked about this video, which fragrance sounds the best to you, why do you want to win it, and also please put your country. This is a worldwide giveaway. Thanks to the folks behind the brand, an awesome brand. Also, as I said, if you want to discover their fragrances more, please watch my reviews on the channel for this particular house, and of course, you know, look them up in the databases to study the fragrances a little more. They've got a lot of fragrances. If you go to their house, you're going to see like this round table. I mean, not their house, their store. You're going to see this round table of all these fragrances that are there that are amazing. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today's video. Good luck with the giveaway. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. If you are already a fan of this house and know their fragrances, let me know what your favorite fragrances are. Other than that, as I said, thanks so much for watching. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Oh, don't forget, we've got lots of giveaways all throughout the next couple of weeks until the end of the year. So please make sure to stick around and participate. Watch and participate.